Good morning. Hope everybody is doing well. It is 5:45 in the morning, no, 5:50 in the morning, and I have crazy hair. I look like I just rolled out of bed, but that's just right after the blow dryer hits it. It does this crazy, like, I don't know. It goes up in a ponytail, so I try every day to get up and think that I'm going to actually do a hairstyle. I don't know why I still try to fool myself. It's not ever going to be a thing where I wake up in the morning and look put together, especially not before 6 o'clock in the morning. Something in my eyelash. So yesterday, I had no appetite all day. I did not feel good. I definitely had no energy. I feel like I'm starting to come down with something. I'm a little bit more congested and sinusy, and I've been coughing a little bit more. So yesterday I was just exhausted, and I did really good. I had my shake in the morning. I had some coffee. Throughout the day, I had the salad that I had ordered the day before. I started to eat it and I just wasn't hungry. I had maybe 7 or 8 bites and was completely full, and so I didn't eat the rest of that. Later in the day, I did get a little hungry, probably about 4 o'clock, which seems to be my pattern now, and so I had 2 small little bags of gummy trolls, or trolley gummies, or whatever they're called. They're the worms. Had 2 little bags of those, and I'm sitting here holding this like it's gonna mix itself. Come on. All right, today I grabbed strawberry, so that's what we're doing today. But I had those 2 little bags of candy, which probably I counted them because I'm crazy and have OCD. So there was 6 little worms in each bag. So I had 12 little gummy worms and didn't want anything else. Came home last night. My husband had to work the night shift last night, which was different. He's been on days for quite some time, and then he had to work a night shift. I'm really having trouble this morning with all this organizational. So I got home, worked a little bit, spent time with my daughter and my puppy. Harper has really bad anxiety when I'm gone, so usually like the first hour that I'm home, I have to just do nothing but spend time with her, and then she calms down and realizes that I'm home for the night, and then she's fine. So spend some time with her, spend some time with Madeline. Madeline's my daughter, and kind of just let my brain relax a little. I have a huge sinus headache behind this eye, and every time I try to focus real hard, it's like the forces are against me today. So I washed my cup, prepared to be an adult today, somewhat, and we had several things going on at work yesterday. So the lady that I had mentioned, not in yesterday's video, but the one before, or maybe I mentioned her yesterday as well, the one that I responded to therapy telling me that there was some respiratory distress and stuff, sent her out, and she was COVID positive, as are so many people, right? What I've noticed here lately, let's see how that's gonna go. Okay, we get to do the in dark video again. What I've noticed lately is the COVID cases that we're seeing are not contracted in-house. They are were receiving reports of negative COVID tests at the hospital, and then they get to our facility and they have COVID. So I don't know if the tests are inaccurate, if they're not testing them early enough, or if they're testing them, I don't know. Maybe they're stopping by Walmart and buying some COVID. Who knows? But each one of the new admissions that we get, we have to have a negative COVID test on them before they can be transported into our building. Now, I'm realistic. I know that they could have the virus and have tested before. I honestly don't know. I feel like if you're in the hospital in a controlled environment and you're tested the day that you're coming to me and your test is negative, and then you get to me and the very next day you have COVID, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure how I feel about that. I really want to go with the tests are flawed, that maybe we're getting some bad tests that aren't catching it. And I only say that because, well, then I fight myself on that as well. So just minutes before we sent her out, well, that was not a good look. I was like, what is that? What happened there? Got this little curly thing happening over here. Minutes before we sent her out, we actually did a rapid test on her, and it was negative. But I was explaining, I feel like I said this in yesterday's video, maybe. I feel like because of the circumstances around her rapid test, that our test was false. I feel like we got a false negative because the individual that we were testing as we were working on her, trying to maintain her respiratory status and just kind of have her hold on until we could get her transported out to a higher level of care, she had a BiPAP on. When therapy first realized that she was in respiratory distress, they put her BiPAP on her to assist with some respiratory support while they came and got me. And one of the first things that I noticed when I walked into her room was how dry she looked. Her lips were dry and papery, which reminds me, did I grab my lip gloss? So the rapid test that we have is a swab that goes inside the nose up to about right here. It's not the brain picker one. It goes about right here, and you swirl it so many times, and then you put the drops on the rapid test, and you put the swab in, and you swirl it so many times. There's, very specific instructions. I feel like because she was so dry, because she had very little saliva, just everything about her appeared dry. I don't feel like we even got a specimen, because you have to have, this is the gross part of nursing, okay? You have to have snot, you have to have some sort of mucus, you have to have some sort of booger, you have to have some sort of something up in there in order to collect on the swab to be tested. You cannot just take a dry swab, run it inside a dry nose, and get any indication if the COVID virus is there. And I've had some people say, oh, but you can, because if the virus is in your nose, it's gonna end up on the swab no matter if your nose is dry or not. I do not believe that at all. Why do you think they do the flu swab in the very back and hit that little dangly thing in the back of your throat? They have to get to where the viruses can live. Now, here's another thing I was trying to explain to everybody yesterday. What's the most common way that this virus... Oh, hi. You want to turn your brights off? Jimmy Hoffa back there. Sorry guys, let me see if I can't get up here and get away from him a little bit. That's absolutely ridiculous. I cannot stand people at 6 o'clock in the morning. The most common way for this virus to be spread is through coughing and sneezing, right? So if you've watched any of the videos, and I watch them on YouTube all the time to talk about mask efficiency and the protection that masks can offer and the variables between the different types of mask. Ugh. I hope that little man over there is proud of yourself. Do you feel good driving down a main street with your brights on? Rude. Your mom didn't get a hold of you enough. So when you cough, you're coughing from, your cough comes up, right? You're not just going and creating a cough. That's not how that works. When you cough, it's and so you have spittle that comes out because it's coming from deeper down and expelling, okay? When you sneeze, you don't have to have a bucket of snot in your nose. When you sneeze, it comes from up in the sinus passages, and that air pushes particles that are wet from up here out of the nasal cavity, right? So it would only stand to reason that in order to get a true and accurate rapid test, you would have to have either a deeper nasal swab or do an oral swab in the same fashion that we do flu swabs, right? Or strep. It would only make sense, right? I mean, not a lot makes sense in the world today. However, these things I'm pretty sure of. When I cough, it comes from deeper, which is why you cover your mouth with your, hopefully your elbow, so that you're not walking around with your cootie germs on your hands and touching things. But we all know that doesn't happen. So that being said, I feel like the test that we did on her was not accurate, and so I think we kind of held on to this false hope that she was going to be negative. Now,